few, but it just kind of whetted your appetite, as I can tell. If you got to interview you, what would you ask you? And how would you answer the question that you asked you?
So many inappropriate questions come to my mind.
Pick an appropriate one.
If it would try to, that's the hard part about being an impromptu type. I get pop-ups on the screen of my mind, and sometimes I choose poorly on the pop-up that I'm going to go with.
Well, he'll edit.
He'll edit. That's his mission in life, is to make me look good, and that's a challenging thing. I think I would ask Jamie. Jamie. I think one of the things that's important, Jamie, who were you? Who was in your mind when you were writing this book? Who was your audience?
Great question.
Who did you think about? I try to train my young leaders in preaching. Know your audience, because if you're speaking to a bunch of middle schoolers, you better do it different than if you're going to speak to senior adults, or if you're speaking to women, you better you know your audience. Who is in your heart and mind? And I had three kind of general categories of people in my mind as I was writing it. The first category is leaders, and I'm a huge fan of pastors. And in the book, I don't beat up the church. I talk about, there's a chapter called Ugly Church, and as you've read, it's not a church bashing. I mean, to bash the church takes no spiritual gift, because we're filled with weaknesses, warts, and failures. Just read the news. Christians do stupid things all the time. But I love the church, and I love pastors, and I especially love young, emerging pastors. They're really my passion. Men and women that are coming up, the next generation, the generation behind them. So I have leaders in my mind to encourage, to challenge them to stay in the game, but be authentic. Stop performing. Stop this excellence is almost a curse, I think, on the church. This, let's be excellent. And I know it can mean good things, but I think it puts a yoke on people that we try to perform and stop being who we are and being real and authentic. The second group that I write to, that's a target audience for me, is seekers. And it's a weird thing, because I'm very evangelistic in my heart. I want to see people come to know Jesus. Though the book has some engaging theology in it, I didn't shy away. It's an evangelical book, straight up. I mean, it's the good news of Jesus, and it's a book that calls you to come to Christ. There is no other way. It's through Jesus that we have life. But I wanted to present the message of Jesus in a way that is earthy and accessible and humorous. That we take God serious, but not ourselves. So I wrote, it's kind of a weird grouping to write to leaders and to write to seekers. And the third category of people that I'm passionate about young people in general. And I believe that there's a whole segment, a generation out there that is going to be hungry for the message of Ugly. And I'm writing passionately. So if the traditional church probably won't like the book, that's okay. But if I find seekers like it that are undecided, if I can encourage some leaders, and if I can help raise up the next generation, that's my. It would be a home run if someone stays in the game because of the book, is encouraged. Someone comes to Christ because they find the message of Jesus is relevant, and somebody gets in the game because they hear the Lord's voice calling them to serve Him. Then I'd say, glory be to God.
It's a great question and a great answer, actually. Well, you guys should look for The Power of Ugly probably coming to a computer screen near you. Why don't you give them your website?
We have several ways you can keep up with us. Obviously, if you found us here, you know where thepowerofugly.com is. We also have a Facebook that you can, you don't have to join. It's just one of those I like it type things. And Power of Ugly, is that just what is it, Jason?
I'll put it on the screen, but it's facebook.com/Jamie J. Stilson.
Facebook.com/Jamie J. Stilson. Or you can go on our church website, capevineyard.com. Check us out. Give it a look. I think it might be a blessing to you. And I appreciate you giving us some time and listening to us.